Great Rising Seekers. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. In part 1, we talked about some of the different perspectives that are held regarding meditation in an effort to better comprehend what meditation is in the totality of its expression and practice, well, as far as experience and grid permit, as you'll see in the series. In this video, we'll go over some of the many different forms or styles of meditation and their respective purposes. With that being said, let's get right into it, Seekers. There are quite literally hundreds of meditation techniques encompassing practices from different traditions, cultures, spiritual disciplines, and religions. There's not a universally accepted best or most effective type. Every type is to accomplish something different and is very effective at doing so. You could say every type is the best at what it accomplishes. In this video, we'll be going over 25 of the most notable meditation types and how to do them. Meditations are usually based on the way they focus attention, usually divided into two categories, focused attention and open monitoring. However, some suggest a third category known as effortless presence, focusing the attention on a single object during the whole meditation session. This object may be the breath, a mantra, visualization, part of the body, external object, etc. As the practitioner advances, his ability to keep the flow of attention in the chosen objects gets stronger, and distractions become less common and short-lived. Both the depth and steadiness of his attention are developed. Examples of these are samatha, some forms of zazen, loving kindness meditation, chakra meditation, kundalini meditation, sound meditation, mantra meditation, pranayama, some forms of qigong, and many others. We'll talk about each in detail in just a moment. Instead of focusing the attention on any one object, we keep it open, monitoring all aspects of our experience without judgment or attachment. All perceptions, be them internal, thoughts, feelings, memories, etc., or external sounds, smells, etc., are recognized and seen for what they are. It is the process of non-reactive monitoring of the content of experience from moment to moment without going into them. Examples are mindfulness meditation, vipassana, as well as some types of Taoist meditation. It is the state where the attention is not focused on anything in particular, but reposes on itself, quiet, empty, steady, and introverted. It is also called choiceless awareness or pure being. Most of the meditation quotes speak of this state, and Dr. John Hageland and Maharishi Mahesh Yogi refer to it as the state of least excitation of consciousness. Today, most people refer to it as the meditative state. This is actually the true or main purpose behind all kinds of meditations, and is not a meditation type in itself. All traditional techniques of meditation recognize that the object of focus and even the process of monitoring is just a means to train the mind, so that effortless inner silence and deeper states of consciousness can be discovered. Eventually, both the object of focus and the process itself is left behind, and there is only left the true self of the practitioner as pure presence. In some techniques, this is the only focus from the beginning. Some examples are the self-inquiry, I am meditation of Ramana Maharishi, Dzogchen, Mahamudra, some forms of Taoist meditation, and some advanced forms of Raja Yoga. Okay, now let's talk in detail about the different types, their individual objectives, and how to properly practice them. First, starting off with Buddhist meditation techniques. Number 1, zazen, Zen meditation. Zazen means seated Zen, or seated meditation in Japanese. It has its roots in the Chinese Zen Buddhism tradition, tracing back to Indian monk Bodhidharma. In the West, its most popular forms come from Dogen Zenji, the founder of Soto Zen movement in Japan. Similar modalities are practiced in the Rinzai school of Zen in Japan and Korea. Zazen is at the very heart of Zen practice. Zen is known as the meditation school of Buddhism. Zazen is the study of the self. Master Dogen said, "To study the Buddha way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self, and to forget the self is to be enlightened by 10,000 things." To be enlightened by 10,000 things is to recognize the unity of the self and all things. We tend to see body, breath, and mind as separate, but in Zazen, we begin to see how they are one inseparable reality. In Zazen, establishing an awake and relaxed posture is essential because the body and mind are one. Our posture directly affects our breathing and state of mind. A stable, relaxed, wakeful posture helps us cultivate a mind that is stable, relaxed, and wakeful. The most effective Zazen posture is the position of the seated Buddha. Sitting on the floor is recommended because it is grounded and offers a more stable base. In Zazen, a small pillow known as zafu is used. It raises the pelvis and hips just a little so that the knees can touch the ground. This will form a tripod base that is natural, grounded, and stable. In Zazen, there are 5 different postures. The first is the Burmese position, in which the legs are crossed and both feet rest flat on the floor. The knees should also rest on the floor, though sometimes it takes a bit of stretching for the legs to drop that far. To help that happen, it is recommended to sit on the front third of the zafu, shifting your body forward a little bit. Imagine the top of your head pushing upwards towards the ceiling, and by stretching your body that way, get your spine straight. Then, just let the muscles go soft and relax. With your rear up on the zafu, your stomach should be pushing out a little, and there may be a slight curve in the lower region of the back. In this position, it takes very little effort to keep the body upright. Another position is the half lotus, where the left foot is placed up onto the right thigh and the right leg is tucked under. This position is slightly asymmetrical, and sometimes the upper body needs to compensate in order to keep itself absolutely straight. It is recommended that if you use this position, you should make a habit of altering which leg you bring up. The full lotus, considered to be the most stable of all the positions in Zazen, is where each foot is placed up on the opposite thigh. This is perfectly symmetrical and very solid. However, it requires a great deal of flexibility in the hips, so it may take some time and stretching to accomplish, and it is not for every body type. Stability and efficiency are some of the important reasons of sitting cross-legged on the floor, yet what is most important in Zazen is the practice of your mind. The Seiza position. You can sit Seiza without a pillow. To perform this pose, you sit kneeling with your rear end resting on your upturned feet, which form an anatomical cushion. However, you can use a pillow to keep the weight off of your ankles. Another way of sitting Seiza is to use the Seiza bench. It keeps all the weight off of your feet and helps to keep your spine straight. To help ground the body in this posture, keep your feet flat on the floor. If it helps, you can use a cushion or zafu, placing it beneath you on the chair and sitting on the forward third of it. It's best to sit forward on the chair so you're supporting your spine. If, due to back issues, you need to lean into the back of the chair, you might try placing a zafu between the small of your back and the back of the chair for lumbar support, keeping your spine straight and vertical. All of the aspects of the posture that are important when seated on the floor or in Seiza are just as important when sitting in a chair, which is one takeaway from this video that you can start using right now. Personally, I use a zafu for all forms of seated meditation that I practice, in an effort to keep my videos an easy, digestible length. This will conclude part 2. In part 3, we'll look at the methods regarding the meditation itself and its purposes, as well as the second meditation technique in this series of 25. If you found this video helpful in any way, feel free to like the video and or subscribe, and make sure to click the bell if you want to be notified right when I post. With that being said, thank you for your support, or lack thereof. It motivates me all the same. I love your faces, you beautiful, amazing humans. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Inla Kachalakin, and Namaste.